How to add a subtitle track in a project file in DaVinci Resolve 18.1.4. Inside your Projects Edits window, right-click anywhere in the video or audio track title column next to your timeline and select Add Subtitle Track, which should appear above the rest of your tracks. To implement a style and add captions to your video, first click anywhere underneath the duration markers parallel with your subtitle track title, so that your subtitle properties will appear underneath Inspector. If you wish to add just one subtitle caption to your video, you can click on the Create Caption button underneath Video to apply settings to your standalone subtitle. You can use this option to also add multiple subtitle tracks, each with their own modifiable properties. The edits representing this caption will appear as beige on the edit timeline. In order to change the location where your subtitle appears, using the Selection Mode tool, which you can also do by pressing A, you can simply drag the edit to where you wish this to appear, and you can also manually adjust the in and out markers of this subtitle edit in the caption settings in Inspector. Here, for example, the subtitle caption starts at 0 seconds at the start of the video file and ends at the 3-second mark. Click inside either the in or out duration markers and press Enter on your keyboard after you type each of these manually, so that the changes are applied to your project timeline. To change the style of your subtitles, tick Customize Caption, and underneath Caption Style, modify the relevant properties, which will be automatically ticked as you change these, including font attributes and positioning on screen. Should you wish to add a subtitle edit with its own style, return to your edit timeline and ensure that the red playhead is positioned at the point on your timeline where you wish for the new subtitle edit to appear. Here in this example, I will skip forward to the 6-second mark by manually dragging the red playhead. Go to click on Add New to simply add a new subtitle edit. Should you wish to check the properties of each of these in your Inspector window, you can also use the Previous and Next buttons underneath Inspector to select each of these subtitle edits that you have inserted into your project. To reset the style of one of your captions, click on the circular arrow tool which appears in the top right corner just below Track. Should you wish to be consistent with your subtitle style throughout your video project, before inserting any subtitle edits, click on Track, make the necessary adjustments to character. Whilst the line spacing property stretches the lines of your subtitle edit out vertically more, the kerning property will spread the characters out horizontally. Adjust the stroke properties to add an outline and the thickness of this by changing the size value. Horizontal positioning can be adjusted with position X, whilst vertical positioning can be adjusted with position Y underneath Transform. Increase or decrease the overall size of your subtitle with the Zoom X and Y properties, whilst adjusting the transparency levels with opacity. Vertical positioning presets can be applied by selecting one of the first 3 options next to Anchor. One of the last 3 options can be selected to apply a horizontal positioning also. Click on the icon next to Drop Shadow to apply the relevant effect. Offset can be used to determine the position along with blur and opacity settings. Click on the icon again to remove any effects applied for Drop Shadow. By default, a background setting is also not applied. Click on the icon next to this title to apply the effect. The first colour option will determine the actual colour of the background, whilst an outline can also be modified using the second colour option and the width and corner radius, which can be used to make the corners rounded. If you dislike the size of your overall background, tick Override Sizing, increase the value for height so that you can see the new background, and make adjustments to the width property which appears also. The default center X and Y values mean that the background box appears in center with your subtitle. These can be manually adjusted also, X the horizontal coordinates and Y vertical. When creating videos with subtitles, it is important to ensure that you give your target audience enough time to read and interpret these during the screening. Quantity management of subtitles can be adjusted using the subtitle settings at the bottom of the track properties. Should you wish to change any of the project settings obscured underneath the tick box underneath this heading, first untick Use Project Settings. Max line length determines the number of characters that can appear on a horizontal line. If we reduce this from 60 to 4, for example, note how the last 4 letters skip down to the next line. The value for min duration determines the length of a subtitle edit when you insert this into your project. Since the value here is 3, when we went to add a new caption earlier in this tutorial, we saw that the caption edit had a total duration of 3 seconds. If I change this to 4 on the other hand, return to caption and add a new subtitle, we can now see the 4-second difference from the in and out markers of the caption duration. As a video producer, you may also wish to determine how many characters the viewer can see per second of screen time. For adult viewers, for example, the max CPS characters per second value would be higher than those for a children's program, where the young audience would need more time to interpret the characters on screen. This property is available primarily for the DaVinci Resolve user's information. A caption with too many characters to read per second won't mean that you cannot render your final video. It is there to give you an idea if the duration of your subtitle captions is appropriate. If we reduce the value of max CPS to 20 and go back to caption to view the properties of this subtitle, since the caption track lasts for 4 seconds and that there are 8 characters altogether to read on screen, each second of duration can be used to read 2 characters at a minimum as the video plays. If I increase the amount of text in my caption, the CPS value goes up, indicating that the viewer must interpret more characters within a second. If the CPS value under your caption heading exceeds that from your track settings, this number will be highlighted in red, indicating that you've given too much text for your audience to read across a second of screen time. As mentioned previously, this does not mean that you cannot render your final video. Click on the eye symbol underneath the subtitle heading to hide the subtitle track. Click again to enable. Right-click and select Delete Track to remove a subtitle track from your project. In order to render your video with subtitles, go to Deliver. Under Render Settings and Custom Export, choose the file name and location on your device where you wish for the video to be stored. Under Video, apply the relevant export video settings depending on what you want the final video to be formatted as. Scroll down to the bottom to find Subtitle Settings just above Add to Render Queue. Click to open, tick Export Subtitle, and under Format, change from As a Separate File to Burn into Video. Click Add to Render Queue and select Render All. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that video was useful to you. If you enjoyed the content and wish to be notified about future uploads on this channel, please like, share and subscribe. Join me soon for another video. Take care.